Hi. I was just having a discussion with one of my friends, and we were discussing the Shekhinah. What is the Shekhinah? Who is she? Because the Shekhinah is a feminine manifestation or presence of Hashem. So is it Hashem? Sometimes we refer to it as the Knesset Israel, the collective soul of Israel. Sometimes we hear that it's a mashal, a creation, a name, malchut, and it's very confusing. So I want to get to the bottom of what it is, what this concept is of Shekhinah. And from that, we'll understand a tremendous amount about Hashem and about a lot of the confusing matters of Kabbalah, specifically the statements in the Kabbalah that disappoint us, because my friend was getting a bit disappointed when I said Shekhinah is a mashal. And I don't know exactly what he means. We haven't finished the conversation yet. Hi, by the way. But I also feel disappointed hearing that word if it's misunderstood. And the point is that it is misunderstood, even though that's the way it's described. That's how we're taught about what the Shekhinah is, and all the imagery of the weeping woman, that I'm picturing the Shekhinah when we're davening. But it's a mashal. Does that mean it's fake? It's just a made-up story? No, not at all. Hashem's mashals are real, and the nimshal is kind of more exciting than the mashal. Put it that way. The nimshal is the goodness that we're looking for, because I imagine everybody on this YouTube channel that has come along here is here because of what I specialize in, which is exposing the truth about Hashem, that he does need us, that he does care, that everything is real, his love is real, and it's not just a mashal, it's not just a creation in the sense of it's made up, it's put on, it's an act, etc. We all want to know, is this real? And the answer is it's profoundly real, and it's as real as can be, and it's not disappointing. It can't be disappointing, can it? It's Hashem's goodness. It's Hashem himself. But it's deeply misunderstood, and the terminology is not helping. And of course, all the baggage of the politics and the heresy or the fear of heresy, etc. So let's just talk about it. Let's have a heart-to-heart talk, and let's be frank. Let's not be terrified of being called a heretic, okay? Don't need to. We've got plenty to rely on. So the main way I'm going to explain this is from the well-known principle of from my flesh, I can, come to know him. So this is overlooked, but it's extremely important. All the Kabbalah and even the Chassidut brings it up all the time, that we're supposed to look at ourselves and then we can understand Hashem. So we'll start with your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Are they a creation? Are they a mashal? The answer is, think about it, yes, they are. Your thoughts are not you. You are even more than your soul. We've discussed this in other videos. Your soul is just something that's given to you as a vehicle with which to express yourself. You are not a soul. You are not a thought. You are not a feeling. You are not an intellect. You have those, but you know who you are, even though there are no words for you, for that, for this. You can't use the word that for you. That's the point. So again, even the word you is inappropriate. You didn't know that word once, and you were still you, right? If a person has Alzheimer's, are they still them? Some people, they get Alzheimer's, they become paraplegic, but they're still them. Some people say they're not, but they're wrong. Anybody who thinks deeply about these things will realize that, okay, this person's lost their marbles or can't speak anymore, but that doesn't mean they're not there, Their personality may be impossible to express now, but you can still see that that's the person, behind that soul, struggling with a broken soul or broken body, whatever it is. So I'm not going to focus on that now, but there is the concept of the etzem neshama, and then of course there's the real you, which is Hashem. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about him. Baruch atah. And also, he's beyond even that, because it's a pain to him to be called you. What do you mean, you? Like, he doesn't want to think that we're separate from him. But nonetheless, to say that your thoughts are a creation doesn't sound disappointing. It's obvious, it's clear. It's right. You don't want to confuse your thoughts with you, but at the same time, you realize that there is a blur. My thoughts are coming from me because I'm thinking about what I want to think about the things that are important to me. And those thoughts are coming only from me. They're not a creation in that sense. It's me thinking. Just the thoughts themselves are creations. But they're a mashal of me because what I think about is expressing me. That's what it means by a mashal. Okay? And they're nullified to me because I'm 99% of the time unaware that I'm thinking, even when I'm thinking. I'm just being. That's what it feels like to be me. I don't have to be thinking, but when I am thinking, I'm not thinking that I'm thinking, although I could do that too, if I want to take on that objective point of view outside of, look down on myself in a third person type thing. So, of course, this is exactly the same as Hashem, and that's what it means when we say the Sfirot of Atzilut are creations, and they're nullified to Him, and even the Or Ein Sof is a creation, and it's nullified to Him. And this is helping us understand the big machlokas between the Ramchal and the Leshem and others about when he says that all of the imagery in Kabbalah is just a mashal, and they say, no, it's not. You can see what the argument's really about, right? So part of it is because also we do use mashals to help us understand. When we say the sphere of Gevura rises and Din grows, and then the compassion, the Rachamim comes down and it merges on the level of this. When we're talking about that, those are mashals. But the mashal is real. Mashal doesn't mean a made-up story. It means that when you picture it, that picture is wrong because it's literally just referring to Hashem. He's getting angry. He's feeling compassionate. His compassion and his anger. It's like a psychology of Hashem, lahavdil. But it is, and people were afraid to say that until Chabad came along, I guess, or the Baal Shem Tov, and it's been gradually explained like this is what Chassidus is. It's the soul of Kabbalah. Kabbalah is like the psychology, but Chassidut comes along and reminds us that we're not talking about a machine or a heavenly machine even. We're talking about Hashem. And this is the Shekhinah as well. This applies to the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah is a creation. The Shekhinah is nullified to Hashem. The Hashem, from his point of view, doesn't see a Shekhinah. But that's the same as you don't see thoughts when you're thinking. So I'm not saying that Hashem has a body and he's like you exactly. So the Sfirot of Atzilut are creations. They are as distant from Hashem as a pebble is, equally so to him, because they are not him himself, just like your love is not you yourself. But at the same time, that's not to say that they're made up or they pretend or they're fake, or you shouldn't take it too far. And some people do. That's the problem. And that's probably why you feel a bit let down by Torah, because that's what you were taught probably somewhere along the line. And who knows what the reason for that is. Many reasons. But it's a mistake. Saying that the Sfirot of Atzilut are creation and not really him isn't a disappointing thing to hear. It's right. You don't want to confuse his love with him himself. We don't daven to chesed, we daven to kel, which is one of his names. That's his name. It's talking about his atzmut, meaning his self, him. This me that we're talking about. That is the real me. And his is the real me, from which all our me's come from. This is what Moshe meant when he said, I want to climb the heavens and smash open all the gates of the heavens and the bowels of the earth and show that there's no one but you. That's what the Shekhinah is as well. Hashem, everything is a creation, everything is batal to him, everything is a mashal of him, which means the same as your thoughts are you. But they're not exactly you, they are your expression. But that's not you. You are expressing. So there shouldn't be a big balagan about this. The Shekhinah is Hashem, his name when he's expressing himself in Malchut, which means giving himself over, revealing himself truly to everything below Atzilut, which is a creation, mamash. Meaning That's the point of our relationship with him. You could say our relationship with Hashem is Shechina. Does he see a Shechina? No, just like you don't see thoughts. But can he see a Shechina? Of course he can. Just like you can see your thoughts if you pay attention. But it's nullified to him because he is not pretending. He's being authentic. He's expressing himself, and it's not coming from anywhere else. It's not separate from him. You know? It's with him. Ima. Even his Or Ein Sof is like this. It's imcha, it's with him. As the Alter Rebbe says, that means it's secondary to him, but it's completely nullified with him, not external to him at all. With him in the truest sense. And that explains everything. He's real. He's real. That's why you're nullified to him too. He doesn't see you as separate either. And that's a romantic sense because you are mamash, you're a reality. The Tzemach Tzedek says very clearly in Ha'amalat Elokut chapter 8, for example, that nullified doesn't mean not real. It's ke'ilu. It's like it's mevatel to him. But that doesn't mean it's not real. Just like your thoughts are not, they're creations, but they're real. They're real creations. And they really express you, and that happened. And you had an effect. And that effect is forever. You affected him. The way he sees the Shekhinah is us. And the way we see the Shekhinah is him. That's why the Shekhinah is described, for example, by Rav Matis Weinberg as the relationship. These are all mashals, meaning we're talking about life itself. You can't put words to life itself. You just have to try to understand it because you're living it all the time. It's nullified to you. So most people are completely unaware of who they are, what's going on. And so the first time you introduce it with bina, meaning with words and with concepts. And you have to file it and categorize it. And that's how we can get this Kabbalistic imagery of Hashem's personality. But we don't see it as a personality. We see it as heavens and worlds and this and that and sphirot. And then eventually you start to realize, no, this is talking about me. And it's my spiritual anatomy, but I'm still above all that. And you start to get it. I am the one experiencing all this. I'm the one expressing myself this way. I'm the one being affected by this as well. So this helps us understand so much. When you start to just let go of the fear of being called a heretic and seeing that these mashalim are only there to help us understand what's actually real. Our relationship with Hashem is in exile and it weeps. That means he's weeping. That means we're weeping. And it's feminine because of feminine principles. It's to do with malchut because it's the expression of each other as we meet that point in the world of expression. We try to connect essence to essence, our essence to his through the sphirot, us going up, him coming down. But we're both real. He's real, we're real, lahavdil. So that means we affect him in the same way that we get affected, with the obvious differences, of course. And I try not to focus on the differences because everybody else does. If you want to find out the differences, just open the first page of the nearest Torah book that's, written by some rabbi. You want to find out the similarities, come to me, come to Rabbi Freeman. It helps us understand so many things, What does it mean that he's beyond all words and concepts? Even, we just discussed that. So now you can understand that his very essence, it's disconnected, but not in the way people think. You're also disconnected in a sense. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. Move away from that type of thinking. If you get Alzheimer's, you're still you. Chas v'shalom, you should never get Alzheimer's. You are affected but unaffected. Everything people do to you affects you. And what does that mean? Well, it stirs your heart. It makes you feel. It stays with you. It's important to you. It's so important that we use the word need. You need people to treat you right. You need to connect to the people you love, etc., etc., etc. And yet, you always remain you, unchanged. You're always going to need your loved ones. You're always going to need these things. You're always going to be you in that state that of your essence that only you know about. And this is why you love yourself as well, because you know it. You know you. You know yourself. You know your essence. Hashem knows his essence too. That's why he's called Mekor Chaim, Mekor Ta'anogim. He loves himself too. And that is the true Eden. That is the true Ta'anog of creation. There's so many secrets. There's so much to learn. Just the tip of the iceberg what we're touching on this channel. Just trying to clarify the misconceptions. This whole video is about that, and it's hard, it's hard to talk about these things. I'm always trying to think up new ways to explain it. I definitely want people to at least come away with a bit of an understanding now, what it means to be nullified, to be created, to be a name and not you yourself, it's just your name, etc. All these concepts, mashal, they're not what we think they are. They're not what people have misunderstood. They're not there to diminish our relationship with Hashem or disconnect us from Hashem. People shouldn't get so angry when I say Hashem needs us, because they're the ones that misunderstand. They've taken some phrase that Hashem is unaffected so hyper literally, and that his feelings are just creation so hyper literally, and that he's just acting so hyper literally, as if he's pretending, And they think that if you say otherwise, then you're saying heresy, all these things. I don't know why it's so hard to understand. It's esoteric, I guess. But it shouldn't be. It's also, if you're just willing to let a few assumptions slip away, especially ones that are just there because of fear. I'm so afraid of implying that Hashem is composite. I'm so afraid of being called a heretic by denying one of the fundamental principles of the Rambam. I'm so afraid of, I don't know, these sorts of things. If you just get out of your assumptions, be willing to just talk about Hashem directly. Stop saying his midah of gevura rose. Just say he got angry. Just do that, like the Torah does. Go back to that. I don't know, we had to take this whole circuitous path just to get back to where we started. That's why I always say that there's that pasuk that says, Hashem saw us treating our relationship with him, with Keri, with, Amalek attitude of whatever meaninglessness. And so he says, and midah keneged midah, I will treat them with Keri. And I think that's what's happened. That's my theory. So we've come up to this point now where we think that we're disconnected from Hashem. It's all about us. He doesn't care about us. We're disconnected from him. We don't really affect him. We have to be very, very, pushing back. Have you seen it in the books? All the Torah books that you read, whenever they get to talking about something important about Hashem, there'll be a whole, but we have to make sure that when we say that he loves us, we don't obviously really mean that in a physical, it just goes on and on and on. Like, enough. How can you have a relationship with him? Why do you think so many people are disconnected, disappointed? I get messages every day now. People saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Rabbi Freeman look at his videos. He gets messages like that, hundreds per video, every single video. He releases like 3 videos a day. People need to hear the truth and I think we get it now, okay? Hashem's not composite. Got it. He himself is unified in one. It's just, don't forget to add that we're similar as well. Lahavdil. Okay? People can get it now. They're ready to hear it. We're not going to start a new religion. It's better to be daring about this and get people back to Hashem, and he will ensure that they'll understand. He will. And for the few people that get it wrong, they'll be corrected eventually. It will all be okay in the end. The main thing now is we have to get back to him. He needs us. Just like, imagine all your kids, chas v'shalom, didn't think you really loved them. Thought that you're too lofty and great, and the only reason why you do anything nice is because you care about them. And does that make sense? Does that help you understand a little bit what the Shekhinah is? What all these confusions are all about? Again, he doesn't see a Shekhinah. Just like you don't see your thoughts. You just are. Okay, we'll leave it there. This is not the final say. We're going to keep on trying to explain this. And, we'll get one point at a time until we get it all. It's all there for the taking. Hashem's Torah is our inheritance. Everybody's zocher to understand it. And everybody's zocher to connect directly to Him. And know that we affect His essence. And Sorech Gavoa, our necessary avoda, is necessary to Him. And everybody's zocher to know that us, ourselves, are necessary to Him, essential to Him. And what that really means, we're talking about Him. And He needs us. And it's not an act, it's not pretend, it's not coming from a lack. That's what need really means. Like, we are essential to Him, we are His, and there's no way to lower the meaning of how important we are. So therefore the word need is just the biggest word we know. So if you want to say it goes beyond words, then fair enough, I agree. Need is the strongest word we have. Teshukah, ta'ava, sricha. They all are used klape Him. And they're all words, but do you get it now? Does that make sense? I don't know. We'll stop here, like I said. Keep listening and keep asking questions and keep learning and give everybody a bracha that everything they want to understand, everything they want to know will be revealed to them, and they'll hopefully be able to share it with others too. Shkoyach.